Our church reorganized about 2 years ago, and we officially launched the ministry of Three Rivers Baptist Church in the spring of 2005 with the community needs assessment.
The congregation there was very small, and this church had sort of reformed, and they were wanting to know what God really wanted them to do, whether to stay open or close down, and if they stayed open, they wanted to know how to reach their community.
We were looking at such a big picture, and being such a small group of people, we were frustrating ourselves. Instead of focusing in on one good place where we could serve well.
And then for spring break this year, I was looking for some college teams to go to the Helena area, to the poorest part of the state.
And we couldn't do the West Helena trip because our spring break didn't coincide with that. So she found something else for us in Mark Tree.
Of course, I hadn't heard of Mark Tree and didn't even know that there was a mission field that was in that particular area. And so it excited me to know that a small church was reaching out in their community like they were.
They really wanted to do something to meet the needs of children, especially and young people in that community. It's a very racially divided part of our state.
God spoke to our hearts about doing something intentional to reach out literally across the tracks. The tracks here in Mark Tree, as they are in a lot of small Delta towns, are still the dividing line between the African American and the Anglo communities.
We went over to the church, and basically the first setting up we did was our sleeping bags in the chapel, and we slept on the floor of Three Rivers Baptist Church. It was carpeted, so that was good. That's always a plus.
We had most of the meetings at a police substation, which is there in the area that's often called the projects.
It was a large area, and it was in the middle of a neighborhood. I know when we began to set up and we began to turn on the music that there was interest, coming out of the houses, some against it, some for it.
You saw about 60 or 70, I think I'm right with that number, kids come out to the site, and it may have been more than that. But what we did was we set up a volleyball net, small volleyball net, a little short one. And then we also had football. We had a football throwing contest. People in that area, some of them didn't seem to care for us being there. But as the kids began to come and more children began to come out and see, and the excitement, I think, in the air made it. So the neighborhood, I think, began to be more receptive toward us as the longer that we were there during that day.
Once we got down there, it's like the kids just ran to us, and every time we was in the environment around the kids, they just linked to us.
The team did backyard Bible clubs, they did sports clinics, even taught dance routines and played African American gospel music on the loudspeakers.
We went out and we walked over the community, we split up and went in different directions, walked over the community and just went to different houses and different doors.
We were scared out of our mind because we didn't know what to what to expect.
And just told people what we had going on, and we were able to talk to them, and just ask them about their relationship with Christ.
But we had reluctance. They were just, they were gung-ho.
When people see you, they see Christ in you, and it makes them want to change.
If you saw the event yourself, you would say, these people must live here.
You can't hide, you can't hide from God. People just can't do that.
They had little treats and stuff for some of the smaller children. And it's funny how love will draw people and break all the denominators and make everything common,
I was very excited. It was a little nervous. I was a little nervous, but I was very excited about it, just getting to go out and witness to people and to a community, not to just people, a whole community.
What you saw was the children immediately seeing someone that they could look up to. So we saw students helping and children learning by those chants and by praising the Lord. You know, they were praising the Lord in all the little activities that they did, and it was just incredible to me to watch that.
Probably the most significant event of the weekend was the actual worship experience here at our church. That was the one time that they came over to our turf, so to speak. An African-American preacher, Stephen Weathers, the leader of the BCM team, African-Americans giving their personal testimony about how God had made a difference in their lives. And at the end of the service, he had the crowd stand up and gather in groups of 5 to 6 people. Each group was mixed together. It was whites and African Americans joining hands, and he challenged each group to pray for East Poinsett County, to pray for Mark Tree and Tyronza and Lepanto and some of these other communities that God has sent us to reach. And for us to truly cross over that racial indifference and be willing to make an impact on both sides of the tracks.
I think it opened up their minds to, oh, first of all, we're supposed to be doing this. We're supposed to be out and reaching people for Jesus Christ.
I was very excited, but also scared of actually sharing Christ with other people for the first time.
Seeing a need and reaching that need, you know, going forward and doing something about that need made them understand a little bit more about what missions is all about.
Quite often, you know, folks are satisfied to come and hear a message on Sunday and go home and spend the rest of the week and the message not affect them, you know, but Scripture says that God gave us pastors and elders and teachers to equip the saints for the work of service. He's not the hired holy man, the pastor's not. He's to equip the church to do that ministry, that work of ministry.
Well, I think we did a good job. Immediately after we got finished talking to people in the community, the next day we seen a couple of people come to the church. And if I'm not mistaken, I think some more people have came since we've left.
We had feedback from individuals that stated, I mean, just bluntly, you're the only church that's been trying to reach out.
The community, they really love them a lot. And every time I see the people who came to the substation, they'll be like, when are they coming back? And the day they left, I was crying because they were a big impact on me.
I didn't want to leave, you know, because like when we started, we was up there for a weekend, you know, and we kind of grew some relationships while we was down there, and then when we got ready to pack up and leave, it was a tough deal because, you know, you really want to see how the fruits play out, you know what I'm saying, in their lives and how it really impacted them. These kids brought a zeal and an excitement about that our people needed. The intent was there, the heart was there, but what we saw from these kids was we've got to put feet to that. We've got to get out there and actually do what we say we want to do. And these very enthusiastic and zealous kids who love Jesus help prod us and push us in that direction.
I can always go out and tell people about the Lord. They don't have to be here. I can, you know, do it on my own, so I've been doing that a lot.
God showed us that He takes broken people and He does incredible things when we're willing just to let go and serve.